Welcome back to Run, Jump, Stomp. It's February 24th, 2015. I'm your host, Bill. Thank you for listening. Let's get started. Pokemon Shuffle is Nintendo's foray into the free-to-play market and was released on February 18th. When Nintendo said that they were going to bring free-to-play games to the 3DS, my initial reaction was that I was very worried. These games are usually the worst kind of shovelware, but with Pokemon Shuffle, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. It's a typical Match 3 game, like Bejeweled or Puzzle Quest, which is one of my favorite games of all time. The weird thing about this one is there's no restrictions on movement, so you can take a piece on the board and move it wherever you feel like. You're not limited in that way. I assumed that having no restriction on movement would make this game way too easy. The way that they combat that is you have a finite number of turns in order to defeat a Pokemon. So let's say you have 12 turns before you can't go anymore, and that's how they make the game a little more difficult. After you push down the enemy Pokemon's hit points by matching little tiles on the board, you will then get a chance to catch them. It's a random chance, but you can influence it by doing better during the battle. If you finish a fight and have more turns left at the end, that increases your chance to catch the Pokemon. It truly is random, although it tells you the percentage of chances to catch at the end. I missed out on catching a Pikachu who had a 50% chance to catch, but then I also was able to capture a Mewtwo just a Mew, by only having 10% chance to catch. So it really is random. You get 5 hearts for each match. Oh, that's not true. You get 5 hearts to play with, and each match uses 1 heart. Your hearts come back every 30 minutes. So this is where the free-to-play or freemium market comes into play. If you want to play more often, you have to buy gems, and then you can use the gems to buy hearts or coins. There's essentially 3 types of currency in the game: hearts, gems, and coins. I don't really mind this. I think that people like me who just want to casually kill 5 minutes are never going to need to spend money on the game. If you buy coins with the gems, you can then use the coins before a match to get extra moves. So if you've been going up against a certain battle over and over and over and you keep losing, then maybe you want to take some of the coins and use those coins to get extra moves for this particular battle. The good news is that you can earn coins just by playing the game. You can also get the coins by buying them with gems, but you don't have to. Things that you can buy with the coins, other than extra moves, you can also get bonus XP, which is useful if you're in a hurry to level up your Pokemon. But that's not me. I'm not really in a hurry with these type of games. They're just time killers. You can also buy other things that generally make the game easier, like weakening your opponent, things like that. As you play through the tutorial, eventually you'll find out that you can unlock Mega Evolutions. This is left over from XY and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Basically, once you've unlocked a Mega Evolution for a Pokemon, you have to have both the Pokemon and a stone. If you have those 2 things and you put the Pokemon in your first slot, then every time you match that particular Pokemon, it's going to fill a bar on the left side of your lower screen. When that fills up, the Pokemon on the board for that particular tile set starts to have special effects, and when you mash them, maybe you do more damage or destroy nearby pieces. my overall thoughts are, this feels to me like free-to-play done in a way that doesn't bother me at all. The only problem I see is, what are other developers going to start putting on the eShop now that Nintendo has opened the floodgates? So yesterday, Twitch pre-announced that they were going to make an announcement today. They really hyped up the announcement, and then, of course, they duped us all with Amazon.com Twitch hoodie joke, which I found kind of funny. But then they made their actual announcement, which was that they're going to have their own convention called Twitchcon on September 25th and 26th. My first question is, does the world need another convention? I thought that there was going to be less conventions in the world, and now Twitch is bringing in another one. How is it going to differ from other gaming conventions? Is it a gaming convention, or is it more of a broadcast convention? My guess is that it's more broadcast focused. Another question that I have are the big names like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, EA, etc., are they going to be there? I know that they support Twitch. Well, let me rephrase. I know that Sony and Microsoft support Twitch. Nintendo doesn't right now. But are they going to want to put out the money for a booth? Is that a cost-effective use of their resources? I am sure that Twitch has some kind of plan in place, and I'm sure that the convention will be successful. But I honestly thought we would be seeing less conventions, not more of them. Okay, this is going to be a quick one. The Order, 1866. People are complaining that it's short. It's super short. It's 5 hours long. For me, I've never really thought that dollar per hour is a ratio that should factor into a video game for me. It should be, how does the game make me feel? Am I having fun when I'm playing the game? Are there moments when playing that game that make me feel like I'm in that world? Now, I have not yet played The Order 1866, but it looks really, really fun. And the fact that it's 5 hours, I don't think should really matter. Do you think that the length of a game should factor into the rating? Let me know. Time for a confession. Kirby games have never really been on my radar. I've only played 2 of them. 3D Classics Kirby's Adventure for the 3DS and Kirby's Epic Yarn. Both of them I've spent very, very little time with. The only reason I picked up the version on the Wii, which was Epic Yarn, was at the time Jeff Kanata of the Totally Rad Show had recommended it very, very highly, so I decided to check it out. After playing it for a while, I could see its merits, but it didn't really grab me, so I kind of let it fall by the wayside. And the 3D Classics of Kirby Adventure also did not grab my attention. I say this because Kirby and the Rainbow Curse has just come out and is getting rave reviews. Now, I haven't tried it, but the art style looks absolutely fantastic. Yet again, Jeff Kanata, I saw him on Twitter saying that it was a really great game. My question to you is, should I go out and buy this, knowing that Epic Yarn and 3D Classics did not really scratch an itch for me? If you think so, or if you don't think so, please let me know. You can always get a hold of me at Run, Jump, Stomp on Twitter. So a link on Reddit leads me to TVShowsOnDVD.com, where apparently there is a Donkey Kong Country TV show. I have never heard of this show. I'm going to have to check it out. The complete first season on DVD will be released as a 3-disc set on May 12th for $49.99. And it looks like you can pre-order it, sorry about that, on Amazon. I don't know if I will pre-order it. I will probably, honestly, just wait for it to be on Netflix or something like that. Have you seen the Donkey Kong Country TV show? Was it any good? Let me know. With GDC coming up in just a few short days, we have something new to look forward to, and that is that Valve is going to show off, apparently, Steam VR hardware, which doesn't interest me too much, Steam machines, which I'm a little interested in, and their final design for Steam controllers. GDC is going to be March 2nd through 6th this year, and the Steam controller is the thing that I'm most excited about. For those of you that don't know, a Steam controller is supposed to be designed so that it can replace a mouse and keyboard for the most part. I do a lot of my gaming on a PC, and currently I use an Xbox 360 controller, but there's quite a few games that you can't use a 360 controller with because they just don't work right. In the past, Valve has shown anything from games like Civilization, which are very mouse-heavy games being played on a Steam controller, to first-person shooters, although people have said that it doesn't work great on first-person shooters. After the last time that they brought out their Steam controllers, it seems like they went and did another redesign of it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they came up with. What do you think? Are you looking forward to the Steam controllers, or do you prefer to stick with the Xbox 360? Or are you perfectly happy with mouse and keyboard? I personally prefer the lean-back nature of using a controller to the lean-forward style of play when you're using a mouse and keyboard. Let me know what you think. Blizzard is bringing microtransactions back to Diablo 3. For those of you that don't know, when Diablo 3 first came out, it came with an auction house where you could use real money to buy things in the game, things to make your character more powerful. Everybody pretty much agreed that that was a bad idea, and even Blizzard agreed after a while and got rid of it when they brought out the first expansion. Since then, everybody has been saying that Diablo 3 is a really great game, and it was amazing that the developers listened to the players. Now, it seems like they're going back to those microtransactions, but my initial reaction before I really read about it was that this is bad. This is bad, bad, bad. Then after reading more about it, it seems like they're going more along the lines of the Guild Wars 2 model, where you buy the game, and then if you want to have things like die packs or banners, or you just want to have things that change what your character looks like, that those will be microtransactions. This I don't mind at all. As long as it has no bearing on how the game plays or doesn't change the core gameplay in any way, I'm all for developers making more money on people who have too much of it. I won't be spending money on these things, but other people will. And if that means that more games like this get made, then I'm perfectly fine with that. It looks like it's coming to Asia first and maybe the US and Europe later, but right now it's only Asia. And each week I'm going to be bringing you something called Wishlisted. This is a game that I have added to my wish list, something that looks interesting to me. I actually heard about this when watching the Twitch stream today. They spoke about Hand of Fate. They compared it to be a roguelike and a deck builder. I immediately went to Steam to see if it was on there and to see how much it was. It is now on my Steam wish list. I'll wait for a sale, but it looks really, really cool. Basically, from what I've seen in the video, you're across from like some gypsy kind of guy, and they put down a card, and maybe that card has a maze of traps, and then your character goes into the card and goes through these series of traps to try and get through to the other side. Some people have said the combat is very reminiscent of the recent Batman games. That combat was always really, really fun. So, I've definitely added it to my wish list. $25 on Steam, but right now it's on sale for $20. I just bought a new 3DS, and I bought Majora's Mask, so I think I'm going to be waiting on this. But in the future, Gabe Newell will give me that Steam sale that I desperately want, and I'll definitely buy this game. The long play is going to be a segment where I'm going to talk about a game that I missed out on or I'm replaying. It's usually going to be about an older game. This week, I'm actually going to be talking about two games, Majora's Mask and Earthbound. Majora's Mask, I missed the first time around. I don't even really know why. I think it just was that I didn't have enough money at the time, or maybe because it required the expansion pack for the Nintendo 64. No matter what it was, I missed out on it. So I picked it up, and I didn't play it right away because I decided I wanted to finish Ocarina of Time again first. So I went through and I finished that, and then that was probably the only game that I played for 2 weeks. When I finally finished it, I was kind of Zelda'd out, so I focused on other stuff for a little while and came back to Majora's Mask. So I'm not very far in Majora's Mask. I'm in about far enough that I've gone through at least the first 3-day cycle, and I've seen how things are. How I'm starting to see how you can use the Bomber's Notebook to go around and see various things and interact with this timeline. I'm loving this game. It is absolutely fantastic. The graphics look great. The 3D is amazing on the new 3DS. I'm really enjoying having the dedicated camera controls. Like I said, I just finished Ocarina of Time, and having the C-Stick to be able to control the camera in this game is miles better. If it warrants it, I'll go over more later on, but if you have a 3DS, or even if you have access to a Nintendo 64, definitely give Majora's Mask a try. The other game for long play today is going to be Earthbound. I've heard that Earthbound is really, really great over and over from many people, and I never really picked it up. Well, with Club Nintendo going out of business as they're closing their doors, I had a bunch of extra coins, and I decided to pick up Earthbound for the Wii U. My initial impressions are that it's a very, very funny game. The graphics are charming in their own Super Nintendo way. I've only done a little bit of the combat, but it really is a fun style of game, and I'm really enjoying it. The Virtual Console of the Wii U has something that the Virtual Console for the 3DS desperately needs, and that is restore points. At any time you can pull that, one of the triggers, I think it's the right bumper, and it brings up a thing on the screen where you can say, alright, well right now I'm going to save this spot as a restore point, and basically it means I don't have to look around for a save or anything like that. I just hit that button, hit the restore point, and next time I come back to the game, I'm exactly where I left off. If I make a horrible mistake, I can just hit the restore point and pick up where right before my mistake and avoid that. The older I get, the less time I have for games that punish you for making mistakes. So things like the restore point, I think, do a really good job of making older games, which without a doubt, older games were far more difficult than games of today. These older, more difficult games are more palatable with systems like the restore point put in. That's the long play for this week. Do you have a topic you want addressed? Talk to me on Twitter at RunJumpStomp or email runjumpstomp@gmail.com. Background music is Mega Minute by I can't say that. Axija. There we go. And can be found at the link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening to Run Jump Stomp.